Going on, you guys? It's me, Coach Johan from CoachJohanCSCS.com. If you haven't taken the time to subscribe, you're going to want to do that. But thank you for joining me. So, I've just recently got back into lifting weights myself for a long time because of what I do physically. I take time off. But one of my favorite functional multi-joint moves is the front squat. So it's probably the only lift that I really right now am doing to try and advance. You guys ought to get good at it too, because again, other than just trying to break record after record, trying to make ourselves look huge and feel huge inside the gym, man, woman, child, you want to be functional and safe. That's why I recommend learning the front squat. The front squat. Staying nice and plumb, even though we have a bar resting on our chest. Believe me, it's not gonna feel totally comfortable right away, but with some practice, with a little bit of patience, and again, staying plumb, which you'll hear me talk a lot about, you too can get real good at this exercise and feel immense functional strength. We're also gonna talk about plyometrics today. We're gonna see how the relationship between the two work those type 2 muscle fibers and keep your joints strong and powerful. This also becomes a very intense, smartly thought out workout. So we're gonna do the front squat. We're gonna also do a little bit of plyo. The plyo we're gonna focus on are Cossack squats, jump squats, and in different planes of motion. And we're also gonna work a little bit of the airplane, all right? So without further ado, let's get brainy, let's get technical, and let's get after it. And remember, you guys, like a lot of our videos here, you can follow it. You can just work out with me, top to bottom, all the way through, and get a bomb, beautiful workout. One that's technical and gets your butt sweating and moving and keeps you motivated. Of course, if you want to take the core pieces of what we're talking about, stretch shortening cycles, range of motion, and a lot of other key terms, just take those core concepts and apply them to other workouts and even other plyometric workouts. You can do that too. All right, let's get started. This is the first challenge, is to get that bar settled nicely on your body. There's 3 ways to do this. You want to make sure that your arms are crossed, that your palms are inverted, with fingertips loosely touching the bar, palms facing the ceiling, or palms facing the floor. In any of these 3 cases though, know this: your tricep and upper arm are parallel with the floor, with your elbow pointing at the perpendicular wall. Okay, so your elbows are pointing towards the wall with your upper arms parallel with the floor. Practice flexing that chest and stretching that back to get the bar rested. From there, all points having to do with a perfect squat are in play. Toes are gonna track with the knees, both of which are going to not be at perfectly 12, but at a natural position. You're gonna squeeze the glutes at the top and brace. That is, tighten your abs and squeeze your butt cheeks. Ensures that you have a nice straight hip complex at the top, activating all the powerful core muscles. Here's how to do it wrong. Drop those elbows below parallel, right? And keep the back rounded. You'll notice the bar pass in front of you. Okay, or try to hold the bar up with your hands. No. You want that rested on your body. Brace at the top. Come down to parallel. Ball up the hamstrings on the way down. And now for the concentric part, squeeze those quads. Put all the weight into your heels. Look, sometimes it might just get too complicated to use a full barbell, especially if you're a beginner. Grab a dumbbell. Grab one that's medium size, something that you can hold comfortably, but notice that the form is the same. Elbows are high, the weight's touching your upper chest, close to your throat. Once you have this established, make sure all the checkpoints of a quality squat are in play. Natural foot position, natural knee position, tracking the toes. The shin actually is going to flex a little bit.
The idea of grabbing a kettlebell and doing a goblet squat also at play. You don't want the kettlebell really far away. You don't want to lean forward, as is the case with a lot of you beginners. No. Okay? Make sure the weight and your ankle bone are in line. That's the best way to tell. What happens is it promotes the activation of all of your core muscles and every accessory muscle having to do assisting you with the squat. Being engaged through the eccentric phase of your squat preloads the muscles that are hyperactive on the concentric phase, which is the part we all love. The quads flexing, the glutes flexing, and the power stroke. You could even cradle the kettlebell, hold it any way you like. Likewise, there is some beautiful nuance having to do with the jump squat. You want to start out in that nice plumb position and descend into a point. Now that point is very important. Predetermine in your mind what that point's going to be, because you're going to land there. That's the sweet spot. Okay? You're going to land there just like you have weight in front of you. You're not just going to lose form. Right when you get to that point, spring up. Drive through your heels until you amortize, which is transfer energy from low to high, and launch from your tippy toes or your foot shuffle. Here we go. So what you want to try to do is throw your arms if you can, but mainly stay plumb on the way down. It's okay if you repetitively jump, but each of these is a controlled explosion. Kind of like your car pistons. They're mini explosions that drive the whole machinery of your body forward. Good. A nice tempo is to descend to that point, flex, and tighten up every muscle, preloading it for the explosion. Every one of these should be all out. And of course, you can only go for about 30 seconds if it's truly all out. If it's truly all out, you will get tired because that's a sprint. Let's shift the tempo. I'm going to pause at the bottom, tighten up as hard as I can for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then launch out of it. Here we go. So 1, 3, 1, jump squat. 1 second down, pause and tighten all the way up. Tighten and up. Nice. Every time you react, whether it's cycling, whether you're kicking or punching a heavy bag, maybe you're playing tennis, every time you respond with power, power is expressed as your ability to tighten your body up, use as many muscles as possible, and lengthen and explode through the motion. We practice this with the jump squats, right? By getting tight as we transfer from movement to explosion. That's called amortization. Hey, you thought jump squats were real easy. It's right there in the name, jump and squat. No, there's a lot of ways to do it. So let's practice another tempo. So, in this one, we're gonna come down slowly. So again, what we know about a power stroke is that there are 3 portions of it. Now as we come down slow, by stretching the quads, right? Stretching the glutes, which are the 2 major actors in a jump squat. By stretching those muscles out, they're gonna activate more. So the slower we come down, the more we're asking them to stretch essentially. And as we transfer into the explosive portion of the jump, more muscle tissue is gonna work. Still, another way to do the very simple, right, jump squat is to change the rhythm. So what we could do is do a full jump and a half jump. So I'm gonna go down and do a half squat and then a full squat. Half and full. Doing 2 different types of jumps simply teaches our muscles to summate very quickly. Summation is the idea that a muscle is going to flex once it's activated. If we minorly flex that muscle, like squeezing a ball, a tennis ball, repeatedly, the overall tension, the summation, all those contractions leads to one big contraction. So to better strengthen our legs, get big, strong muscles, we can practice summation. Summation. It's going to ensure that we totally activate our legs when we're being explosive. Beautiful work. I know the blood is pulsing through those legs right now. Let's work something else. We're going to have a little fun and work transverse. And as you can see, I start out at 12 and I end at a different point on an analog clock. That's transverse. It uses all the accessory turning tissues, right? Turning tissues such as your psoas, your obliques, and a host of others that are rotator muscles. I'll start facing you guys for now. I'll end facing another wall. I start facing 12 o'clock. I end at 4 o'clock. That knee and toe are happy together. I get a hard stretch in the quad, a hard bend with the heel, not the toe, flexed. I don't bend the knees either. I want to keep one straight the whole time. And I don't do it to where my knee is inside of my toe. All right, let's find a rhythm. Remember, that straight leg, it's stretched. Proprioception is happening. One leg is stretched, the other side of that same leg is flexed. Once I find the rhythm, I can turn this into plyo, which is spring right off. Remember to keep this straight leg straight, pointed forward, instead of letting it kind of bend in a weird direction. Let's try the airplane or the single leg deadlift. So today we've kept everything with body weight focus so that you can do this anywhere. There are two types of airplanes, but we're going to focus on squeezing that upper back, turning the palms toward the ceiling, and stretching those pectoral muscles, anterior deltoids, and serratus muscles. I'll try to keep my toes pointed down as I kick back and drive that knee up. All day we've been emphasizing the quads, but we're going to try and get the back of the leg to get active also. I ideally want the posted leg straight as I bend forward. And if you're anything like me, one side is way more fluid and mobile than the other. Slow down your range of motion when you're not feeling quite as fluid. Always remember to stab that front posted leg down into the floor. Lock out those tissues, the hips, the quads, the calf and serratus tibialis anterior. All of those tissues that have quality joint angle control. I'm gonna drop my back leg into the lunge and really have some fun. There's the flow. I go into my split, I come up, I go into my airplane, drop the foot, go into my split. This flow burns. It combines a transference of energy from a front side of a muscle group in the legs to the back side, and instantly, because of that transfer, is a preload stretch. I explode out of it and go into my lunge. It looks easy once you get the flow of it, but so much is going on, especially with proprioception and the stretch shortening action of those muscles. that you are going to work muscles you didn't know you had. And you're gonna probably be sore if this is the first time you've done it.
That was good, you guys. Nice job with that one. That's the principle of doing a whole leg day with plyo. The takeaways. You gotta really get those muscles long before you turn them over into action, right? To be explosive, to work your power, to get big type 2X active. Remember, when we do our front squat, we want that bar rested here. You don't want to hold it up. You want to stay nice and plumb. That bar should be in a nice straight line. And man, it's just like pulling a bow and arrow when you load up for your plyometrics. There's 3 stages: concentric, amortization. The transference between those two have to be really intense. You have to tighten up during amortization so that those elongated muscles, right, on the agonist side are stretched. They're stretched enough to load up for the movement. That's amortization. And of course, the eccentric is the last part. It's just like lifting with anything else where you have those 3 phases. Just amortization is the transfer from stretch to go. Doing these things, you're going to find yourself and your athletes, anyone you know, your best friend, your wife, whoever, getting stronger than they ever have been, and those leg muscles more lean, more strong, more powerful, more muscularly dense than they've ever been. All right, you guys, thank you for listening. Remember to go to the website, coachjohanscscs.com, for more courses just like this one. Until the next one, stay up.